So the type of baking mold depends. It's better you use an aluminum one or a stainless steel, but the aluminum ones are the best because they are good conductors of heat. They are easy to clean, and these molds are very available at Topserve, as well as our mix, which is a super veg, is available at Topserve at a better price.
And for the tins, the non-stick or the juakali, which one will?
Non-stick are better because the juakali one, like this one I'm using, you have to apply oil to avoid sticking. So non-sticky are better in terms of costs as well as cleanliness. Now from here we put our butter into the oven. We'll get a glass. After you bake, this is what you get. This is the kind of sponge that you get. Very nice volume. In terms of volume, it's okay. Softness.
So now that you have put the batter in the oven and you bake, so most people ask, is it possible to bake this with a microwave?
Yes, there is a microwave called conventional microwave. That's the best for baking because you are able to monitor the time as well as temperature.
So would you advise that on a regular microwave?
For a regular microwave, I will not advise because at the end of the day, you will not get a brown cake because the microwave, the cake won't brown. It will bake, but it won't brown.
Okay.
Yes, but for the conventional oven, you get it will bake well. So I would advise maybe probably use a conventional microwave. But for a normal microwave, yes, the cake will bake, but the color, you won't get the brown color.
Okay.
Yes. So this is what you get after baking. You can see, cut and see the structure. See how it is. Very nice, soft.
So, and with the premix, that is guaranteed for every time and every moment that you're baking a cake?
Every time you bake, following the right instruction, you get this sponge, a sponge like this one, at all times. Nico? Can I go on? Niendelee ama?
So chef,
Yes?
tukifanya
Yeah.
kuna time tulipoteza sound.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
So what you can do a recap
Okay.
of it briefly.
Just explaining.
Just explain
Okay.
for us.
Okay.
Cool.
So from what point?
So, then kuanzia mwanzo it has nothing to.
So
Just
to
to-
proceed
to-
to the questions.
just ask. It's more of a recap.
Okay.
It's how to mix it.
Sawa, sawa. Okay.
So ni maswali tu
just
wakiproceed
like
na hizo.
premix.
Yeah.
What is a premix?
Yeah.
What do you have? A recap of whatever you've done, whatever you've done.
Okay, from the start. Okay.
So must if you have questions, for example, whatever has not been captured, and then we'll
Go on. So apologies for the technical hitch on the sound part, but we'll have a recap of whatever it is that the chef was explaining to us, where we started at, would you add milk to the premix?
No, you don't have to add anything. You just need to add water and oil to the premix, and then you mix.
And why is milk not an option?
Because the mix is meant for purposely for vegetarian, so you don't have to add more ingredient apart from, because already the ingredients are incorporated within the mix.
And does the temperature of the liquid you're using, that is now the water?
Sure,
And
sure. It matters a lot, because if you use cold water, it will affect the consistency of the butter. If you add hot water, it will affect the ingredient within the premix. So the water has to be at room temperature.
And so in the mix that we have just done,
Yeah.
you've added both oil and water.
Yes,
And you've said that you can also do with water by itself.
yes, without the
What is the difference between the premix that the batter that into which you've added the oil and the one that you will not have added the oil?
The purpose where we are adding the oil is to make your sponge a more dense cake. Instead of having more spongy, so you add a bit of oil to make your cake a bit more dense, as far as your structure is concerned.
Okay.
It won't affect the quality as we have found, because your sponge will also be very soft. Yes.
And when you've already now done your premix, you're done with your butter, now you put it in the oven. How long does this take to cook
It will
compared to a regular cake that you're doing you're mixing your own ingredients?
Yes. What matters most is when you are doing it from the scratch, you use a lot of time to do preparation for your ingredient, to do the mixing. So the premix itself saves you time. It makes your work to be very tidy. And then when you are doing the production, you'll be a bit faster in terms of production. If at all you are doing a mass production, you'll be very fast in doing the production. You make a lot of cakes at a shorter time. So the premix saves you time. It will give you consistency, because each and every day you'll be using the same recipe. So you'll be having a very similar cake today, tomorrow. Every day that you are doing you are mixing, you'll have a very consistency cake.
And at what point, when mixing, do you add, maybe if you want to introduce flavors, is that possible for this cake?
You can introduce flavors at the point whereby you are already done with the mixing. The last minute of mixing, that is when you add flavors. You can also add the chocolate, cocoa powder at 10% of the butter. So like now 1 kg, you add 100 grams of cocoa powder. For the black forest, you are told you are doing the black forest, because this one is meant for white forest, or any other flavor that you are doing with it.
So the moment you want to now make a black forest from the super veg vanilla premix,
Yes.
do you reduce the 100 gram of flour, or do you just add the 100 grams of cocoa?
You add on the premix. You don't reduce. You add.
So the flour remains at 500 grams?
Yes.
1 kilo?
1 kilo.
1 kilo, and
yes.
then you introduce 100 grams of cocoa
Yes.
to the 1 kilo
Yes.
of
Though the cocoa depends on the quality of the cocoa you are using. There are those which you will not give you, will give you a light color. There are those who will give you a dark color. It's better you use a chocolate that is will give you a dark, very nice dark color.
And is there a specific cocoa that is used while baking?
Yes, we also have that chocolate cocoa. We normally sell antimaca cocoa powder. Cocoa. It's called a cocoa, which you add to your mix. It's very good for doing your sponge to do the black forest.
And why do we call it alkalized cacao powder?
Alkaline cacao powder. It is alkaline. It has alkaline, so your taste, the taste view will be very nice in your black forest.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe you can take us to the next step after this. Now we've already done our cake.
Yes.
What is the next step after?
The next step we are going to do the whipping cream, which we normally do our decoration with. So we will do a mixing of the whipping cream, the process, how you do it, and then we will also do the decoration together to do with the whipping cream.
Okay.
Yes. So what we have pristine whipping cream. Give me one packet.
Okay, so with me here we have Raki, one of the directors at Skypex, and we'll have a Q&A for the questions that you're raising with us on social media platforms. So, and we'll start with what kind of cake we were doing here today.
Yeah. So to start with, my name is Raki. We started today with the Super Veg Vanilla premix. This is a premix for baking cakes which has no eggs. So it is already a ready to use powder premix which has all the necessary ingredients to make your cake. You are only adding oil and water or just water to make your cake. The batter is hence eggless. So people who are vegetarian, people who are not eating eggs, or people who are avoiding eggs should be using this premix. Now, did that answer the question? We baked a Super Veg Vanilla premix from Pristine.
So, and the next question we have is from Miriam, and she's asking, instead of using oil, can I melt butter or margarine?
The answer to that will be no, because oil has certain ingredients which cannot be replaced by butter or margarine, and margarine absolutely not. So oil cannot be replaced in this recipe.
So we are strict on oil, no butter, no margarine.
No butter, no margarine.
Okay.
The next question I had received is why a premix? Why would one use a premix? A premix, I would say, is going to give you some consistency in your baking. All the time you bake, you will not have a different flavor or taste. Your quality will remain standard for all those who are baking every day. Home bakers, they say we can opt for our standard or basic, our own recipe. Yes, you can use that, but with the current situation around the globe, the ingredients are going very high every day. You might have to mix sugar, flour, which is sometimes very inconsistent as well, and make your flour or batter. It could give you inconsistency. The premix is always going to give you one flavor, one quality, and one stability in the whole scenario, a consistent cake every time you bake. And I had seen one question about alkalized cocoa. Why would you use alkalized cocoa? Alkalized cocoa is going to give you a balance. Alkalized means the pH is balanced, the level that it cannot give you that sharpness in your cocoa. So an alkalized cocoa is just the pH is balanced. That's pork. That's why it's got the halal certification.
So anything maybe you would want to clarify beyond whatever it is that we've covered so far?
Yeah, so the Super Veg is quite a versatile premix. We have it in a 10 kilo box, and we also have it in a 1 kg pack. And Topserve, yes, it's available at any of your Topserve shops.
Yes, it's available in all our Topserve branches. That
Yes.
is the 2 branches in Nairobi. We have a branch in Meru, Kisumu, Eldoret, and Nakuru. And we have both the 1 kg pack and the 10 kilo pack.
Yeah.
And as the chef had indicated earlier, all the instructions are listed on the packaging of the premix.
Yes.
And maybe one more question, let me ask that. Storage of the premix. Once you've opened, how do you store it to maintain its freshness?
Okay,
Or
so
if
the
you have
1 kg pouch has its own sealing. Make sure you seal it properly and avoid to put it in direct sunlight. So you put it in a cool place where there is no direct sunlight coming over. The same with the box. After removing what you have used today or whenever, you seal the inside packing, which is the plastic bag. Seal it properly, do not leave it open, and store it obviously in a cool, dry place, not under direct sunlight.
And what will be your take on transferring it into maybe a plastic or glass container?
It's fine. If you have enough storage available, you can transfer it into an airtight container, which is even better, so that there's no inclusions from anywhere.
Okay. Maybe then you can highlight on what other varieties of premix that you have.
So apart from the super veg, there is obviously the egg side of premixes available as well. So they are called the cream cake mixes, where you have to add egg to the recipe to make your muffins or pound cakes. Those are the denser cakes.
Yeah.
Also we have the sponges available in vanilla and chocolate, also used with egg, and also used as a premix for your base of sponges. So there are two types of sponges with egg, and dense cakes, pound cakes, muffin cake mixes as well.
And why would one opt for pristine premixes considering there are a variety of other premixes in the market?
So the quality that we promise as Pristine and Skypex being the distributor, we are certain that every time we receive the best quality from Pristine, it is tried here initially before we even send it to the market. And the taste, the chocolate and the vanilla Pristine cream cakes and sponges, I can say are quite competitive in the market. The flavor that we have used, the vanillin and the cocoa powder, I think you cannot go wrong with them. Every time you will be consistent in your flavors. Other premixes, I don't know how they work, but maybe you have to add vanilla to them to give that flavor. We have vanilla and the chocolate flavor ready in the mix.
Okay. So I think we've covered most on the premix.
Yes.
Now maybe we can start with the whipping cream.
Yeah. So I'll call Chef William to continue with the whipping cream now.
Chef. So now we have Chef Gatama back with us, and he will be taking us through on how to handle the pristine whipping cream from the moment you purchase to the time that you need now to use your whipping cream. So maybe first question was, is this a dairy cream or a non-dairy cream?
It
and
is.
what is the difference between
Okay.
the two?
These are non-dairy products. The difference between this one and the dairy product is that this one is made from the vegetable fat. The non-dairy is a milk product. So this one is a non-dairy product.
And what is the shelf life of
Shelf life is normally comes, shelf life is 1 year from the date of manufacture to the date of expiry.
What about once opened?
Once,
How long does it last?
once open, you have to refrigerate it in an airtight container. It will last you for 5 to 7 days.
So will you take us through the process of now?
Yeah, maybe probably at the riverside, and those areas are very hot. Kajiado areas are very hot. Make sure that he carries in a very cool box, maybe probably in a cooler box. Our device, if at all you want to use it direct, you can carry it in a cooler box.
And it should be fine?
Yes, it will be okay because it had already been chilled, so it won't lose that temperature.
Okay.
Yes, because the temperature matters because of its stability once you are whipping it.
And what is the whipping duration of whipping? How long do I need to whip it?
It depends on your mixer as well. I have to clarify that because I can tell you 8 minutes and your whisk is broken, so you won't get the right consistency. Or it will not stabilize fast. Someone else may have a very efficient mixer or whisk, it will stabilize very fast. So, but you whip it at a slow speed and then at medium speed until it stabilizes.
What will be the effect if I just started it at high speed? Because
At high
I am
speed.
maybe in a hurry.
When you are whipping this cream, why we emphasize on the low speed is because when you are whipping it, you are trying to stabilize the temperature within the cream itself, so that once you put a medium speed, it now starts getting the volume. It's now getting the volume until you get the right volume of you expect. Because this one is supposed to give you 3 times the volume. But all you are doing it at 1 liter, you are supposed to get a volume of 4 liters. That is 3 times the volume of the cream. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
And what is the coverage of pristine? If I'm using, maybe I need to cover I need to use pristine to cover my cakes.
Yes.
How much cake can 1 pack of pristine cover for me?
That depends, because there are those who don't who ice the cake and they also have layers within the cake.
Yeah.
There are those who does only the toppings. So the amount of cake that you cover with 1 liter of cream depends on the individual. Although it is advisable to don't use a very thin layer, because if you use a very thin layer, your cake will end up cracking. So it is a divisible. You use maybe 3 millimeter of the cream layer. There it should be 3 mm.
Okay.
Yes. So it should not be very thin. Yes.
So maybe we can whip it, and then you'll also tell us how do I know now my cream is ready to use after I have whipped.
Okay. So what we do, this is already it has been chilled overnight. This is the one that we are going to whip. So it is ready for whipping. And then what matter? There is something else that depends in your bowl. When you are whipping your cream, it should cover 20% of your bowl. Why do I say that? Because once you are whipping, the volume, once you put a lot of it in your bowl, once you are whipping, you will not get the right volume, because there is that maximum height of the whisk, whereby unless you even if you whip for 10 minutes, it won't increase in volume. So you are supposed to cover 20% of your bowl. Even this is a 5-liter bowl. So what you do, you don't have to put the whole packet. What you do, you put half of it in your bowl. So because you want your cream to increase in volume.
Yeah.
Because once you put it into your bowl, the whole pack, you won't get the right volume of your cream. Yes. So we are going to put half of it into our bowl.
And most people have, when people have a challenge with cream, so someone will buy pristine and they'll say it's not whipping and they're going to use it. What will be some of the challenges that they are facing with the cream?
Sorry, come again.
Someone might buy the pristine cream,
Yeah.
go chill it, then when they're trying to whip it, it's not firming up.
Yes.
What
There,
would be some
one
of the
reason
things
could
that
be.
would be causing that?
One reason could be your cream is too cold. Because once you remove your cream from the fridge, you are supposed to give it a resting time. Don't use it direct, because when you use it when it is too cold, it won't stabilize. So you have to give it a resting time of probably 30 minutes, depending on your fridge. Because some fridges are very cold, some others are not cold. So you should give it a resting time so that your cream is able to stabilize.
And what is the recommended temperature range to refrigerate the cream?
Not above 10 degrees. Not above 10.
So 10 degrees for refrigeration?
Yes.
Give it a
So
resting time?
I'll say between 8 to 10, because you are not also supposed to freeze it. Because when you freeze it, you spoil the quality, sorry. So once you freeze it, the cream itself will become ice. So it's not supposed to be frozen, it's supposed to be chilled between 8 to 10 degrees, not above 10 degrees, because above 10 degrees you also spoil the quality.
And is there a difference in how you store it when not whipped and after whipping?
After
If
whipping,
you have a remainder of whipped cream that you have already whipped, how
Whipped.
do you store that one?
it has to be covered, and then you refrigerate it.
Not freeze.
No, don't. Okay, a whipped one you can freeze. A whipped cream you can freeze. And then when you are using it, then you can whip it again a little bit, and then you use it. But that is a whipped cream, not unwhipped. The one that you have already whipped, you can freeze it.
And once you now need to use the frozen one now.
Yes.
The one that you had whipped
Yes.
remained, now you want to reuse
Yes.
after you frozen. Do you wait it to thaw, or does it thaw by itself, or can you hasten the thawing process?
No, don't hasten the thawing process. It will thaw by itself. So you have to give it time for it to thaw, without any heating, without any fastening the thawing process.
Okay.
So you give it itself, it will thaw. So what is supposed to be done is you give it time for it to thaw. So what we are going to do, we are going to, this is already chilled, and we had given it time to rest, 30-minute time rest.
Yeah.
So what we are going to do, we are going to whip half of it because our bowl is a bit small. So what we are going to do, we are going to do half of it. And then the remainder, we have to put it in a, you have to cover it tightly in a near tight. So you have to cover this maybe probably using a cling foil. So there is no entry of any air inside.
And now how long can this stay once I've opened it like this?
Once you open it, use it, by the 5th day you should have used it.
Okay.
Yes. Because in the process, once you open it, there is contamination. There is air coming into contact with the cream.
Yeah.
So you use it within the 5 days.
So when we are starting the whipping process,
Yes.
can you introduce color or flavor to the cream?
You can introduce, but in the last minute of, once your cream has already started stabilizing, that is when you can add color. But the gel type, you don't have to use the liquid because the liquid will affect the quality of your cream. You don't have to use the powder because the powder is a bit tedious to fully mix within the cream. So you use the gel color.
Color.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. So we start with the low speed.
So I can see when you're using a stand mixer like this,
Yes.
or maybe even a stand mixer,
Yeah.
the motion is one-sided.
Yes.
Like we are not doing clockwise and then anti-clockwise.
Yes.
Is it the same process with a whisk and a hand mixer, or I can just, if I get tired moving clockwise, I can move it anti-clockwise?
You can use it because this one, within the whisk itself, you can see the whisk itself. It has some wires.
Yeah.
So while it is mixing, the whisk is going round. Sure.
Yeah.
So it is going loud within the mix. So you can also use the hard mix, but you can use both on your mixer, the hard mixer.
And for someone who doesn't have either a whisk or a mixer,
Yes.
can they use a spatula to do that?
What you can use is the hard whisk, this one, instead of using the spatula.
So a spatula will
Because
not work.
there is a spatula, it will not incorporate air within your this one.
So the result will surely be different.
They will be different because using a spatula, using a whisk, and using this, the volume will be very different. Yes. So preferably, it's advised you use a whisk or the hard whisk. Yes, hard mixer or a commercial mixer for that matter. Then there is another mistake people do. There are some who chill the bowl, they chill the whisk, and they chill the cream. And then they later complain that their cream is not stabilizing.
Yeah.
Reason being that the cream became too cold, your mixer is cold, your bowl is cold, and your whisk is cold. What will happen, your cream will not get the right volume, it won't stabilize, it will take a longer time to stabilize if it stabilizes, whether within that area. So it is advisable, you check the temperature of your bowl and your whisker, on your whisk. So it is not supposed to be very cold. It is not even advised to chill the bowl. For those who do it, maybe probably they do it for fun. Yes.
So chilling the cream is enough.
That's enough.
Duration of time.
Yes.
And left it to sit as
Yes.
required.
Yes.
It should be fine to whip regardless of the temperatures you're in at a
Sure.
particular
Sure.
moment.
Sure.
And so you've said you cannot specifically say the duration of time that you need to whip the cream.
Yes, I've said that because of the type of mixer people are using. Because like ours, maybe probably we can mix 8 minutes. Others may go up to 10 minutes, depending on either the whisk they are using. Maybe some wires are broken. For this one, it will be a bit faster because the speed of this one is a bit fast. Even if you are putting at a medium speed, it's a bit,
It's faster compared.
and the mixer is efficient.
So time and duration depends with the tools that you're using.
Yes, yes,
The,
yes.
the effectiveness of your tools and equipment is what matters.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So once your cream stops forming, you see there is some foam coming out from the cream. When it starts forming, now you can go to medium speed, not high speed, medium speed. So for this one, it goes up to a maximum of 7. So I will do it up to 4.
So, and is the cream suitable for vegetarians now that we have done the super veg cream?
Yes,
So is the cream suitable for vegetarians?
sure, yes, yes,
Halal certified as well?
yes. So the taste of the cream is already sweetened. So you don't have to add any sugar, you don't have to add anything. So the cream is already sweetened. Maybe probably the color you are told you want any color, but you add the color at the last point of mixing.
And is the cream stable by itself? Does it firm up that I don't need to add anything? Because we find that most people say can I add sugar to make it, icing sugar to make it more stable? Can I add gelatin to make it more stable, or is it stable by itself?
Severely, you don't have to add anything on the steam. It stabilizes on itself. What you just need is to chill it and whip it at the right process, using the right process and mixing. Yes. So as I was saying, you can see the volume of our cream, which we have already put it at half of the packet.
Yeah.
Once it reaches at the end of the whisk, even if it goes upward, it will increase in volume. So it is advisable, it is not supposed to touch beyond, to go beyond the end of the whisk.
So that will give it room to increase in volume.
Yes, to give it room to increase in volume, because once you put a lot of it, yes, it will whip, but it will not get the right volume. As I was saying, it's supposed to cover 20% of your bone to get it room for getting the right volume.
So and now because I can see you just keep it consistently, you don't need to stop.
You don't need to stop. The only stopping that you do is when you are testing whether it is already stabilizing. Yes, yes. So you don't have to do it with high speed. Because the faster you do it, it is stabilized very fast, but you not get the right volume.
And when once you put your cream, it's now confirmed it's stable enough.
Yes,
When you're decorating and you've done the piping,
yes.
with the designs that you make, for how long can they sit?
The cake, okay, it depends on whether the cake is being traveled away for a very long distance. But once you put your rosette or whatever decoration that you have put it, It will also sit as well as the day the cake is supposed to expire. Yes. So it doesn't come off. It will have, as long as your cake expires in the 5 days, your decoration will still be intact. Yes.
And when people say, I decorated my cake, but there were cracks on the cream, what will be the cause of such?
One reason there are some few reasons for the cake cracking. One is they put a very thin layer of the cream on their cake. Second, they decorated either a hot cake or a very cold cake. A very cold cake, maybe they had put their cake from the fridge. They remove the cake and they want to decorate it very fast. Why it is cracking is because when the cake is regained its normal temperature, it increases in volume because it is losing moisture. It increases in volume, and hence, what will happen? The cream will crack from outside.
And can I chill the cake once I have decorated and I need maybe the cake is to be used tomorrow?
Yes.
And I've decorated this night. Can it stay outside of the fridge or do I need to chill it?
Yes, it is advisable you chill it.
That can it just stay outside and then they just collect it tomorrow?
You know, there's already whipped cream, and once you put it in there, maybe probably you are putting in hot area. Yes, it will affect the cream. So it's better you either refrigerate or you chill it.
Oh.
Yes. Probably most of the people put them in the chillers. If at all you have a display chiller, you put it there.
And does the temperature of my fridge at that point matter?
It also matters, because if at all your fridge is too cold, your cream plus the cake will become very cold. If at all you are taking that cake to the client, what will happen? Once the cake is cut, the customer will know this cake was refrigerated at a very low temperature. As you can see, our cream is already stabilizing. Yes. So we also need to keep watch on our cream. Supposed to give you a sharp pick. So our cream is already ready to use. So it has taken a lovely 8 minutes. Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
8 minutes.
Yes. But that may be different from depending on the mixer you are using. Others maybe will stabilize within 10 minutes. So you are not supposed to overwhip the cream, because once you overwhip it, it starts separating.
And can that be salvaged?
No, you can't salvage that. Maybe use it in another way to do it. Maybe you can use it. There are some people who do ganache with it, but once you overwhip it, it's done deal.
So I can't add a little bit more unwhipped and try to rescue?
No, you can't.
Okay.
Yes. So this is ready for decorating.
And is there any effect of using a stainless steel bowl or a glass bowl versus a plastic bowl?
Yes, because you can't store your cream with a metallic bowl. You're supposed to store it with the plastic bowl and you cover it.
What about during the whipping process? Is there any difference of the outcome depending on the bowl?
No, no difference.
So whichever bowl that one
That
needs
is
to use
during
is okay.
during whipping. Yes.
But storage strictly in plastic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
So earlier you mentioned about using the sugar syrup on the cakes.
Yes.
Can I use pristine directly without the sugar syrup? And what difference does it make whether I add the sugar syrup or not?
You see, our sponge, normally when you are using the sugar syrup, it depends on your type of sponge you are using.
Yeah.
Ours is very flabby, so it doesn't require any sugar syrup.
Yeah.
But you can do it on liquids from the customer.
Okay.
Yes.
So it doesn't affect the cream in any way
No.
when you're layering?
Yeah, it doesn't affect. Because the sugar syrup is going down, it's going to the sponge.
Okay.
Yes. The decoration of your sponge. First thing, you need to have a turntable. You need to have a palette knife. You need to have a spatula, and you need to have a cake board. Cake board may either be square or round. All these tools are available at Topserve. So we are starting our decoration. So what I've done, I've already put some bit of cream at the base to allow the cake to attach to the board. Then from there, I have already cut our sponge into 2 layers. So we are going to do a 1 layered cake. So I apply the first layer of our cream. At this point, you can introduce the fruit filling, either blueberry, strawberry, within the layers.
And is the application any different if you're doing the filling, or you can just do the?
You can pipe your fruit filling, or you can spread using your palette knife.
Okay.
Yes. So I have to make sure that my cake is, yes, because one part is a bit higher. And I'll apply more cream at the top.
since the cream is so small,
Yes.
won't the layers of cake slide off the edge?
No, they won't slide off. They can't slide off because you know the sponge is a bit rough, so the cream, the sponge will not slide off.
Okay.
Yes.
So meaning even if I have to transport that cake, if I choose to maybe dowel it.
Yes. It will be very easy to transport it without even your cake sliding off.
So we have a question here from Carol, and she's asking, what are the appropriate temperatures for chilling the cream? Maybe we can recap that.
The cream should be chilled between 8 to 10 degrees.
doing the decorations like this, is there a limited time period for you to do it? Because you've now the cream, can
Yeah.
it stay this stable for a longer period of time depending on the amount of decoration you're doing?
Yes. Yes, as long as you are not keeping it for long, for like 2 hours or so. You don't have to keep it outside for long. So as long as furthermore, you just get whatever you are using for one cake, then you refrigerate it, then you get from there. Or if at all you are going to the next cake. So don't keep your cream once whipped too long outside, because the cream also absorbs other flavors. So if at all you are using any other flavor, maybe probably something that is giving you a bad odor or something like that, it will absorb. So don't keep it for long. Even while refrigerating, make sure there are no other flavors that the cream can absorb. That is why we encourage you make it airtight.
Okay.
Yes, you store it in an airtight container.
And if for some reason you have put it out for long, can you re-whip?
No, once you whip it, you spoil it. Maybe slightly using a palette knife. Yes.
And why would you recommend Pristine as a whipping cream of choice compared to other brands available in the market?
One is because of the taste. You don't have to add anything on the whipping cream. You just whip it, you cheat it and whip it. You don't have to add anything. Then it is already sweetened. You don't have to add any icing sugar. Then consistency, and then the volume. You get 3 times the volume of the cream. And it is easy. It is very easy to decorate or to mask your cake. To give you a smooth final, what do you call it? Service.
Okay.
Yes. The final decoration depends. It's a matter of personal creativity or customer's choice, what he wanted. So there is no specific about the decoration on top.
And presuming I was using a fruit filling,
Yes.
or maybe I want to add texture to the cream,
Yes.
can I add maybe the fruit filling to the cream, mix it and do the application, or will it have any effect on
Yeah,
it?
you can mix the cream with the fruit filling to put on top between the layers. So I'll do shredding of the chocolate on top of this, a white chocolate.
The white forest.
Yes.
This is dark.
I will use dark, sorry. This.
So when doing the shredding,
Yes.
is there a specific way to do it? Can I use a knife?
You can use a knife, you can use whatever is available for you and good for you to shred your chocolate. You can also use a scraper like I'm doing. So it also depends on the type of shreds that you want. If you want a big one, there's a way you can do it. You can also melt some chocolates and then do a plate where you can write your name. You can melt the dark chocolate and then make a plate where you can write the name of the message of the cake.
And for the cream, can I use like this whipping cream to make ganache?
Okay, we have recommended cream for making ganache, which is cooking cream, because it is heat stable. Instead of heating the chocolate, you heat the cream, and then you melt your chocolate into the cream.
So as the chef has explained, now he has detailed on how to handle the cream from the point of purchase, handling it when you take it home with you, and chilling temperatures, the recommended ones. At what point you can freeze the cream, which is when you, the remainder of whipped cream, like what you have here, this you can put in an airtight container and freeze it. Then to use cream that you had frozen, for this you need to let it thaw by itself. Do not try to hasten the thawing process by maybe heating the cream. That is not recommended because you will damage the cream and you will not be in a position to salvage that. So, and Pristine is available in all our branches. That is Topserve Kimathi, Topserve Accra Road, Topserve Nakuru, Eldoret, Kisumu, and Meru. So for the cream and for the super veg premix, those are available. Pristine is available in 1 liter, and the super veg is available in 1 kilo and the 10 kilo packaging. And feel free to engage us on our social media sites so that we can answer your questions, the questions you have regarding how to use the cream, what challenges you faced with the cream, maybe, so that the chef can maybe answer those questions for you.
I've done a plain one without any decoration on top, but you can also do rosettes on top using a piping bag or a nozzle, and you can also put some fruits on top as well, like red cherries, which I know they are available at Topserve. The nozzles are also available at Topserve, piping bag as well. Please note the topper is not edible, just for decoration. Because it is good, you don't have to write happy birthday on the cake. You only need to write the name of whoever will celebrate the birthday.
And for the toppers, we have a variety of them. We have the ready-made toppers we can find for different occasions. We have birthday toppers, anniversary toppers, graduation toppers, Thanksgiving toppers. We have quite a variety of them. We have both acrylic toppers and the paper toppers. For the paper toppers, we have cardstock and the glitter paper toppers. These come in different colors. We have red, we have gold, we have blue, we have pink. So we have quite a variety of them, and you can also have your toppers customized to whatever it is that you want. Maybe you don't want a plain happy birthday topper. You need it to have the name of the person you're presenting the cake to. We can have that custom made for you. They range from between 200 shillings to 1,200 shillings depending on the size. And for the paper toppers, we also customize them for 200 shillings and 400 shillings. And also depending on the various designs you want, so the price may differ depending on the number of layers that your topper requires as well. Then maybe we can also clarify on at what speed do you whip the cream when you're using a mixer?
Okay, when you are whipping the cream, it's better you start with the low speed, which is 1. Don't go to high speed, you use medium speed. So low speed, medium speed. You don't use high speed when you are whipping your cream.
So and medium is
dependent on your mixer. Yes.
Depending on how high your
yes.
mixer can go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like this one I was using, it goes between 1 and 7. So I've done it in between 1 and 4. I've not gone beyond 4. Yes.
And is it the same for a hand mixer? Because you'll find a hand mixer maybe does 1 to maybe 5.
Yeah, it also applies depending on the speed of your mix of the whisk. Because I know they are different when you are using the hand mix. So you don't do with the highest speed. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's it for the.
Because the speed matters because of the volume of
cream.
Yes.
Okay.
And the stability.
So that's it for the cream. You can, as you've heard, you can introduce color, but at the final stages, not at the initial stage of whipping.
Yes.
You can also, can you add flavor to this? The liquid flavors or maybe the powder flavors?
Mostly what happens, the colors themselves come with the flavor. If it is a red color, maybe it is flavored already. Because the cream itself is flavored, it's vanilla. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So no need to add?
No more flavors. Yes.
Okay.
So what remains after mixing, after doing your decorations, you make sure you pack it in a plastic container before refrigerating and then cover it in an airtight container and you refrigerate it for future use.
That will prevent it from absorbing other odors
Yes,
from the fridge,
yes,
maybe
yes.
from other foods that you have stored.
Yes, and sure, and as well getting moisture from the fridge.
Okay.
Yes.
Because once it's by any chance it absorbs moisture from the fridge, does it change the state
It will change the stability of whatever was remaining. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
When using a whisk, do we use one direction? Or can we do either of the?
You can either of them. You can mix the direction as long as you mean the hard mixer of the.
The hand, like say I'm using a whisk.
Yes.
If I started clockwise, do I have to finish it clockwise or?
No, you can
I change
also
mid
use
whisking?
use both direction.
Okay, and
Yes.
what is the preferred size for using the whisk? Because we have whisk ranging from maybe a 10-inch to a 16-inch.
I would prefer the medium size, which is
12 or 14.
yes.
And does that maybe change the outcome? If I used a smaller one,
Yeah.
does it mean it will take me longer?
It will take you longer because the smaller it is, the lesser the wires. So the more wire, the faster it will separate.
Okay.
Yes.
cream cakes, we have also a variety of tools that you can use when decorating your cake using the whipping cream. So we have the palette knife that our chef had used earlier on. Then we have the scraper. This is the small one. So this is what we have as a palette knife. We have the straight palette knife and the angled one.
Yes, yes.
So preference, did you use this out of preference, or is there one that is better than the other between this and the angled one?
The angled one probably is because of when you are doing the corners and the topping.
So the angled one is perfect for the top
Yes,
and corners.
yes, yes.
So maybe when you're doing a square cake?
Yes, and when we are doing a cake which has a larger surface area, like it's 2 kg, because the small one, you see, it can cover the whole top. So the angled one is better.
So, and again, we have the scraper. So this you can use when you're doing the smooth cakes. Then for if you want to create patterns on the cake, we have the triangle scraper. So this has the smooth edge, a different pattern on one edge and a different one on another edge. So if you're also doing tall cakes and you need to put patterns on them, so we have different types of scrapers. So we have these that has a smooth ruffled effect on one side and a different one on the other side. And for these that has so this is the most popular one because of the pattern it gives on the more of angled sides, and we also have the one that gives more ridges on the other side. And we also have this that also has different patterns on both sides. So with one scraper you can have 2 different patterns. So you can do 2 different cakes, 2 different patterns with one scraper. And there are also more varieties available at Topserve branches. So these are just a few of the samples that we have here. The scrapers also come in sets. We have this type that comes as a set of 3. So you have if you buy one set, you get 4 different patterns because some of them have 2 different patterns on one scraper. So we'll be moving on to the next product, which is the pristine cooking cream, and we will engage our chef so that he can tell us why do we have, if they are giving us the whipping cream, why do we still need the cooking cream? So maybe you can tell us what is the difference between a cooking cream and a whipping cream?
Whipping cream is meant for whipping, whereby you incorporate air within to give you a larger volume. And then cooking cream, mostly for the bakers, they use it to do the ganache, whereby instead of heating your chocolate, at times it gets burnt, you heat the cream and then you melt your chocolate into the cream, which is a bit easier. It will give you a very smooth ganache and easy to use without any, it doesn't get air bubbles, it doesn't get lumps, because at times when you are melting the chocolate, the chocolate doesn't melt well, and you are gonna get lumps or air bubbles within. So the cooking cream, it is heat stable, so it is possible you can heat it. It's not like the pristine. Pristine is meant for cold temperatures. The cooking cream is meant for high temperatures. Other ways you can use it, you can put it on your salads, your soups, but for the bakers, they use it to do the ganache. How do you do the ganache with your cooking cream? You heat the cream in the ratio of 1:1, that is 1 part chocolate, 1 part cooking cream. For instance, if at all you are doing 500 grams chocolate, you weigh your cream 500 grams. You heat your cream and then you cut your chocolate in small pieces and then you put it into a hot cream and then you stir, probably using your whisk, or you can use your palette knife, or you can use your spatula to make sure that all your chocolate melts. And then you let your chocolate cool down, and then you can either apply on your cake. You can also apply on your maybe berries. If at all you want to decorate your cake with the strawberries, you can dip your strawberries into your ganache and then place them on your cake.
And can we use the cooking cream in place of whipping cream?
Yes, you can use, but this is recommended for cooking only, but you can use it to whip. It is possible to whip it, but you need to get the right, like the whipping cream, because it is a bit heavier and it is more fatty. So the cooking cream will not get the right volume like the whipping cream.
And when you're now doing the ganache,
Yes.
at what point are we adding the chocolate? Because you've said you heat the cream.
Yes.
So do we add the chocolate whilst heating?
While the cream is hot. No, you don't. You heat the cream first, and then probably you can use it. You heat the cream using a microwave, and then remove it, and then you put your chocolate. You have to make sure that you cut the chocolate into small pieces to enable it to dissolve into the cream.
Okay.
Yes.
And is the process different for white chocolate ganache or for the dark chocolate ganache?
No, it is not different. It is not different. You can either do it for white ganache and dark ganache.
Ratios, do they change or still
No,
keep
they
the
don't
same?
change. It is ratio of 1:1. But if you find your ganache is a bit thick, is a bit light, you can add chocolate into ratio is 1:1.5. 1.5 being the chocolate.
And does this require refrigeration?
It doesn't require refrigeration unless once it is open, that is when you refrigerate it in an airtight container. Make sure it is in an airtight container.
So even at the point of maybe I want to use this to whip, in as much as now we know it will not give us the same volume as the whipping cream,
Yes.
I will not need to refrigerate it for me to whip.
Yes. You want to refrigerate it for you to whip, because it's a bit heavier than the whipping cream. So whipping it is a bit easier than the whipping cream.
What about the firmness of it? Does it firm up as pristine does, or maybe
It does firming, but after a long time whipping. So as we don't recommend the cooking cream for whipping. It is purposely meant for high temperatures. Either the ganache, or you are doing your salads, or you are doing your soups. That is how I recommend. But we recommend it to do the ganache. Because
you need to heat it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe you can take us through the process of doing the ganache. We can do it for viewers to see.
Okay.
And maybe they can have an experience of how to go about it.
Now we do our ganache. What we do, you have to make sure that you scale your chocolate. If it is 200 grams of the chocolate, then you have to weigh exact grammage of your cream. Then you heat your cream probably in a microwave, and then you cut your chocolate into small pieces, and then you put your chocolate into the cream, and then you stir it, and then it will give you a very smooth and shiny ganache. Okay. Yes.
So as you've heard, you do not need to chill the cooking cream for you to use it. So for you to use cooking cream, it is recommended for the ganache because it is heat stable and it can stand the high temperatures.
So we weigh I've already have a cut out chocolate. So I have 430 grams of chocolate. So I need to weigh 430 grams of the
Cream.
Of the cooking cream. And then make sure you turn it in there. Then I cut this into small pieces. for that.
So you said for the whipping cream, once whipped you can freeze it.
Yes, once it is whipped.
For
The
the
only-
cooking cream. No, for the whipping cream. For the now cooking cream.
Yes.
Does the same apply? Or strictly cannot be frozen?
Okay, I've said already the cooking cream, we normally recommend it for doing the ganache. We don't recommend it for the decoration. We recommend it specifically for ganache. And once you open it, you need to put it in an airtight container and then refrigerate it. If at all you have not used the whole pack,
And what is the shelf life of it once you've opened?
5 to 7 days
Refrigerated.
refrigerated. So you need to heat the cream.
So for how long are we heating the cream in the microwave?
Cream, you warm it until it is hot, so that it is possible for you to melt the chocolate into the cream.
So what is the temperature we need to achieve for the cream?
It has to be very hot to make so that the chocolate can actually boiling, so that the chocolate can melt into the cream
So we need to bring the cream to a boil.
to a boil. Yes.
So now we can add our chocolate into it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.